For centuries, the map of global power was drawn in soil and steel. Dominance belonged to those who controlled physical resources, those who held the land, mined the coal, and pulled oil out of the ground. This physical control evolved into centralized industrial might. In the 20th century, nations projected power through their factories, where millions of tons of steel were forged to build the modern world. Then came the shift toward digital processing. With the early mainframe, value began to move away from the physical handling of materials and toward the rapid computation of data. Many people still view artificial intelligence as a consumer novelty, a clever chatbot or a voice assistant. But if you look past the phone screen, the physical scale of the hardware reveals a different reality. Intelligence has replaced oil and steel as the world's most vital resource. AI is rapidly becoming a form of foundational infrastructure, as essential to modern life as any physical network. This technology is becoming a utility. Future societies will rely on these algorithms for healthcare, public operations, and economic management, making them indispensable to the basic functioning of society. Unlike the roads and power grids of the past, this cognitive infrastructure is being built and owned by a small group of private entities. We are witnessing a massive transfer of influence from public institutions to corporate hands. The global AI race is rarely a competition of pure creativity or coding skill. It is a brutal arms race to hoard two highly restricted resources. The first resource is human information. Building these models requires the ownership of vast, nearly unfathomable oceans of data, scraping and categorizing almost everything humans have recorded. The second resource is the expensive physical hardware required to process that data. Modern AI development demands massive server farms and specialized microchips that cost billions of dollars to build and maintain. Because the cost of entry is so high, only a few tech giants possess the capital and the infrastructure to compete. This creates a barrier that locks out startups, university labs, and independent researchers. They are often forced to rent access to the systems rather than owning the technology themselves. The high cost of compute acts as a filter, concentrating control over global decision-making and essential cognitive utilities into an exclusive corporate oligopoly. We see the results these systems produce, but the internal processes are hidden. They function as black boxes, with the underlying logic known only to the corporations that own them. Since these models are trained on historical human data, they naturally adopt the priorities and biases of the organizations that create them. They are a reflection of human assumptions, not a source of perfect objectivity. These invisible algorithms are already acting as gatekeepers. They are filtering job applications, determining the risk of bank loans, and influencing legal sentencing. For many nations, relying on foreign corporate algorithms is now a direct threat to their sovereignty. Superpowers have realized that whoever controls the code controls the national decision-making process. The United States has leveraged its environment to foster leading private monopolies, allowing corporate giants to drive technological dominance on a global scale. China has taken the opposite approach, utilizing a state-controlled model to ensure that AI development remains strictly aligned with government priorities. Meanwhile, the European Union is asserting global influence through regulation, attempting to dictate the rules of the race rather than competing in raw production. The battle for control over these systems has evolved from a corporate rivalry into a multipolar geopolitical arms race. Private entities have already become the invisible gatekeepers of public life. We are living in a world where a small group of companies can influence the information we see and the opportunities we receive. It is a mistake to view this race as a simple competition for better engineering. We are facing a crisis of governance. These systems now influence the core functions of society, yet they remain largely outside the reach of the public and their representatives. We are integrating AI into our hospitals, our courtrooms, and our power grids, without the democratic oversight or transparency usually required for such critical systems. Citizens and policymakers must work to bring these processes into the light. We need to demand accountability for the systems that now manage our lives. The future of AI rests on our human institutions, our policies, and our collective choices. As these systems grow in capability, our priority must be building the safeguards necessary to guide that power responsibly.